Alrighty. Now, today, good morning everybody. It's Wednesday, the 6th of January. And we're working on this Ovation 1982, a Glenn Campbell model, 1627, 1627. Uh, it had a pretty devastating damage to the top, as you can see. And I think I showed that when I did some initial videoing. And not only did it come loose, but it tore a whole bunch of material here. The bracing's very thin. It's kind of a fan bracing, goes like this. And then this guitar was made by a company called Cayman. Excuse me. And Cayman made helicopters. And the bottom of the guitar is made from the same material they make helicopter blades out of. And when Mr. Cayman was a guitar guy, and he decided one day that he would just have his people design a new guitar. And so they put a bunch of probably structural, mechanical, electrical engineers together, some acoustics guys. I mean, they have all that kind of stuff, in that business. And they designed this guitar, and you can tell that it was designed by engineers, not by luthiers, because one, the way it was done, and two is it's not really designed. They didn't make it to be repaired. I think they thought it would stay together forever, and they don't. The top is very thin material. It's a spruce top. It's super duper thin. The bracing super duper thin, and then on top of everything, when they glued the bridge down, they did a number of things. One is they put two screws through here, machine screws with nuts on the bottom. The screws would go down through these little tabs, and then there were nuts on the bottom. And then they also had these plastic, positioning pins that were in the guitar. You don't see them. They were glued in, and then they went down into slots that hopefully you'll be able to see this, but they went down into these slots, and there's still the plastic pins are there. This is where the machine screws were, where the tear out is, and so when you look at it, you look at the fact that what you have is, and I'm not even exactly sure. Oh, I do know why. This hole here is from the saddle. There's a pin from the saddle that goes all the way down. A lot of pins and a lot of holes. And so, when they had this on here like this, there was tremendous stress from here and from these other plastic pins, so that when things started to go, rather than just the bridge popping off, which would have been a much better thing to do, they had these screws, and so consequently it ripped up all this wood. And I've salvaged some of it off of here, but on top of it, yet again, is I believe this glue here is an epoxy, because I have warmed it and heated it and heated it and warmed it, and it's just not responding to try to, I was hoping I could pick it off and save a little bit more of this wood and then put it back down. Not happening. I was able to save the wood over these two holes here, and I'll be able to glue them back in. But I doubt seriously that I'll be able, I won't show it on the camera, but that I'll be able to get any of this off in a way that I can then just lay it back down. And what's last but certainly not least interesting is this slot goes all the way through. This material here is here. And so, there's going to be a bit of a hole there, but that's the way it is. So, it is what it is. So what I'm going to end up doing is sanding all this off. I got to fix a break here in the bridge. There's a crack right there. See it move? I got to fix that, and then I'll get this glued back down properly, and then we'll get this cleaned off. What I'll then have to do is I'm going to glue this up, and when I glue it up, I'm going to put some cleats underneath it, so that there's a little more structural strength. And what did I do with them? You know, you can always find everything when you don't need it, but you know, as all my mentors say, as soon as the cameras come on, you know, everything goes to shit and you just can't find anything. But I cut 2 pieces of maple, and I'm gonna put them underneath, because what I want to do is I want to reinforce this hole, and I want to give this something to glue to, because the bracing is just this very thin here. So this broke along the bracing. Over here is broken along the bracing. All this is broken next to the bracing, not, and so because his bracing's so doggone thin. And let me see if I can find the 2 pieces that I cut. No, I can't. Okay, I have them. I just don't see them right this second. And you know, I did a wonderful job. It'll be nice and thin. Just gonna go right between the bracing. It's only about 5/8 of an inch wide. And so I'm gonna start it back here, and I'm gonna run it underneath, and then I'll get it to carry out about this far. So it's gonna be about that long. And yeah, it's gonna stiffen things up a bit, but you know, you have to do what you have to do. And thinking about the order of operations on this, I'm going to pretty well have to do it all at once. And the reason I say that is because I have to get these little pieces, this one in particular, this one piece that goes here. It's really pretty cool. I managed to salvage a whole big hunk of it. This one piece that goes here, I've got to get it under a little bit underneath the top piece as it broke. So I gotta slide this in and under, but I gotta keep it supported so it doesn't fall through. So I'll put the bottom piece on, I'll put this in, I'll put this in, then I'm gonna take and clamp it all down. And on the other one, it's actually in pieces. I'm gonna do the best I can to make it happen. And you know, what actually happens is I always forget I gotta turn these over, because there was not only a machine screw and a bolt, there was actually a plastic washer right here, and that was all glued together. When you look at this, I can't even get all the glue off of here with a knife. I'm going to have to actually sand it off. And I am going to leave these parts here because I want to use them as just positioning markers. And I'm going to leave these here because they'll be positioning markers. So everything will be positioned like it should be. And then I've got this hole and this hole down here that I'll put the other positioning piece in, so that I'll make sure this bridge is in exactly the right place. I'm going to have to do a little cleaning, because what happened was the glue was so strong. Oftentimes the glue will pull away from the lacquer or the paint, whatever material this is. It might even be a polyurethane. I don't know. Can't really tell as I'm looking at it. But the glue was so strong to the paint that that's why I pulled the wood up, because the glue and the paint really bound together better. And then of course the paint was bound to the wood. So all of it came up. I mean, from a design standpoint for repairability, and quite frankly, best design, this sucks. It's a wonderful guitar, don't get me wrong. When we get this fixed, it's going to sound great. It's going to look great. It's going to be great. But you know, no kudos to the Cayman company for their design work. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and turn this camera off, and I'm going to clean this up off camera, and then come bring you all back. And when we bring you back, then we're going to do the glue up. And by then I will have found the 2 pieces of wood that I'm going to 2 splines that I'm going to use. So we'll be back.